I want to welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely and learn a little bit about the wine world. That's important too. We are going to look into a varietal that I think a lot of people overlook. The most popular white wines, of course, are Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Gris. Those are the top four dogs. They are big time. Pinot Grigio from Italy. But one of the whites that I think is fantastic and very versatile and good food wine, good with seafood, that sort of thing, is Chenin Blanc. Now, when I say good with seafood, I mean the drier style Chenin Blancs. Chenin Blanc can actually get quite sweet, which may turn some people off to it if you happen to buy one thinking you want to try Chenin Blanc and then you get one that's kind of sweet. You might go, wow, that is not what I was expecting. Most Chenin Blanc you'll run across are in the drier form. There are quite a few that are sweet. They come from mostly from the Loire Valley, although I believe, and I haven't tried one yet, South Africa, which is a country that produces a lot of Chenin Blanc. I think they have like close to 50% of the vines planted in the world of Chenin Blanc are in South Africa. Something like that is crazy. Crazy stat. They used to call it Steen. They call it Chenin Blanc now because a lot of people don't know what Steen is. So most of the labels I've seen now leave Steen off of their label. They put Chenin Blanc, realizing, of course, that nobody's going to buy it if it says Steen. Now, I'm talking about the average wine consumer. That's who I'm making these videos for. I know there's a lot of you that are real geeky about wine. That's great. You know all that stuff already. I appreciate that. But Chenin Blanc is often overlooked. People don't know what it is. And so we're going to look at it closely today. We're doing 4 Chenin Blancs, so I'll get right at it. This is one from South Africa. It's called Frank Chenin Blanc, and it is a 2024. So very fresh. Frank, this rolls in at $11. This was my pick of the month for June. I'm big on Chenin Blanc. I think they're great wines. So we're going to try a few of them and talk about Chenin Blanc. In the Loire Valley, it's called Vouvray. It can also be called other things, but Vouvray is the one you'll see the most when you walk into a grocery store. Barton and Gooster Vouvray was a big deal, and a lot of people bought it back in the day. And I believe, it's been a long time since I've tried it, but I believe it was closer to off-dry than it was dry. So this is Frank Chenin Blanc. I showed you the label. This rolls in at $11. Let's see what we get on the nose. I get a little bit of a pear, but closer to green pear, green apple. I get some floral notes on this one as well. It is really light. These are all going to be light. You're even getting a little kind of an herbaceousness to this one. Almost like nettles. It reminds me of nettles just a little bit. I have bad memories of nettles, so that smell kind of sticks in my mind. I'm even going to get a little bit of filbert nuts on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Not bone dry. In fact, I get a little bit of a residual sugar sort of thing going on, but not sweet, but just certainly not dry. I would call this off dry, not on the sweet category, but dry enough for, this would certainly be dry enough for sushi, things like that. It'd be perfect. Get a little bit of a honeysuckle characteristic on the palate. A little bit of that green apple coming through, some of that pear on the underripe pear side. That herbaceousness comes through, but it's not a pudding. I like this Chenin Blanc because this is a good introductory Chenin Blanc. It's $11, very affordable, very well made wine. It has a lot of the characteristics, and I get a little bit of that kind of filbert hazelnut thing on the back side of this, and those nettle characteristics come through as well. Good balance, good acidity. Chenin Blanc is medium plus to high acid wine. This is nicely balanced. The acidity is nicely integrated. This is just a delicious wine, and certainly can go with a lot of different foods. I would have this with mussels, clams, all of those things. And it'd be good with cod, things like that. Chicken, this would be good with a chicken dish as well. I like this wine a lot. That's why it was my pick of the month in June. Just saying. Yeah, I like how the pear and green apple notes kind of mingle together. Good balance. It's a great wine. I'm going to go B- on that. I think it's a very solid wine for $11, guys. That's just crazy. I still have some at the store left over from last month, stacked. If you want to try a really good introductory Chenin Blanc, this would be the way to go. And there's a lot of Chenin that comes out of South Africa. Now, this is new. Somebody introduced this to me. Kendall-Jackson is now coming out with a Chenin Blanc, Vintner's Reserve Chenin Blanc. Not sure if they've done it before. That tells me that maybe Chenin is getting a little bit more popular. Maybe more people are looking into it. I don't know. Maybe just the winemaker said, hey, I'd like to try a Chenin. $19. Kendall-Jackson, Chenin Blanc. So we got first South Africa, now we're into California. If I were going with Chenin, I would lean towards South Africa, Loire Valley. That's where I would go. And maybe Washington State, because we have a Washington State one here that's been around for a long time. It's been a while since I've tried it, so I'm excited to try it again. So, again, very light in color. Very light, hey, like $19. Let's see what we get on the nose. This will be different because it's from California. Wow, that has like a really nice lemon drop note on the nose. Definitely more towards the pear side with that kind of lemon drop nose. Getting some nice floral notes on this one as well. Maybe some saffron coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. Definitely a drier style in the Frank. Getting kind of a, really definitely a green apple notes, pear. Like I said, on the underripe side of a pear. The lemon notes come through on this one as well. Get the, almost that kind of saffron thing going on the palate. And then right in the mid palate, just before it goes into the finish, this is a nice lingering finish. Again, the acid is there, but it's nicely integrated. This is a nice Chenin Blanc. I mean, who would know that Kendall-Jackson would come out with a Chenin Blanc? They're certainly big producers of wine. They kind of put Chardonnay on the map, really, back in the day when Jed Steele worked for them as a winemaker. But yeah, solid Chenin Blanc. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's good. It's nicely balanced. Good integration. I like the acidity. This again would be a great wine with shellfish. It would also be good with. It's dry enough that I would stick to seafood on this one. And really, we use that term porch pounder. This would be just a nice summer. Both of them really nice summer sipping white wines. Great stuff. Yeah, I like this a lot. Very fresh, vibrant on the palate. I'm gonna go B- as well. It's $20. It's under 20. It's 19. So fairly affordable. Drier. People that don't like more fruit-forward style white wines might like the Kendall-Jackson better. Let's move on to the 2000. What was it? Did I read the? Yeah, 2024 on this one as well. Now we're going to go on to the 2023 Old Vine Chenin Blanc, Yakima Valley Le Col, number 41. This rolls in at $20. Now, Le Col's been doing a Chenin for a long time, and for a while, they did a sweeter style, and it wasn't my favorite. Of course, I do like sweet wines, sweeter wines sometimes, but generally I gravitate towards a drier style white, especially when they're white. But this has a little more golden color on it. It's old vines, so you can see the golden color. Yeah, I'm sure they're old vines because he's been doing Chenin for a long, long time. Let's see what we get on those. Wow, now this one is nutty on the nose, very nutty on the nose. Almost get a fig component coming through. Definitely hedging towards kind of ripe pear. I get that interesting kind of a leafy vegetal thing on it as well, but not heavy, just barely there. But definitely getting that kind of hazelnut, kind of fig component coming through with the pear notes, and very unique on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Again, I'm so glad that the Le Col switched over to a dry style. This is a really nice, well-balanced, drier Chenin Blanc. It has kind of a nutty characteristic on the palate. And when I was doing some research on the different flavor profiles of Chenin Blanc, none of them really said anything about a nuttiness on them. And I get that all the time on Chenin Blanc. Not everyone. I didn't get it so much on the Kendall-Jackson. But on this one, definitely has like that kind of filbert hazelnut thing going on the palate with ripe pear notes, but still dry. Good acidity, nicely integrated, nicely balanced. It doesn't rip the enamel off your teeth at all. Nice. It really fills the mid palate big time. And you get that kind of floral component coming through with, and there's, that fig. I hate to say fig because you're thinking sweet. It's not sweet, just the flavor of fig kind of comes through on the back of the mid palate into the finish. This baby lingers for a long time. This is a complex Chenin Blanc. You can get the idea of an old vine Chenin Blanc. This one really shows a lot of complexity for a white wine. There's a little bit of honeysuckle there too, as well. What's that one? Yeah, honeysuckle coming through. I really like this one. I think this is the best one so far, best of the bunch so far. They're all really good, but this one is very powerful, very complex, dry. This would really stand up to a good baked chicken dish. I think you could do this with a lot of different types of food, white fish. It would go with shellfish as well, but definitely salmon. I would do this with salmon for sure. A very nice wine. I'm going to go straight up A on that. I think it's the best Chenin Blanc, and it's fairly priced at $20. Good stuff. Now let's move to the place where a lot of people may get confused. This is the 2023 Champollion Vouvray, which is Chenin Blanc. Vouvray is the region, but that's where they grow the Chenin. And it says sec on it, which means dry. So if you see a Vouvray, know that it's Chenin Blanc. If you see sec on it, know that it's dry. Those are your clues. A lot of times they don't put that on the label, but thankfully they do on this one. It's a Kermit Lynch import wine. Kermit Lynch is a really well-known importer. I like his choices. So, Champollion, $30, so a little bit more. But, the Loire Valley is famous for Chenin Blanc, as is South Africa. You can get better deals in South Africa, just saying. This is definitely kind of a little some dried hay notes on the, definitely some kind of quince and pear notes, and with a little bit of apple. I even get that kind of, once again, and this could be me, maybe I'm just weird. I could be just weird, but kind of that little hints of fig and nut, hazelnut, filbert. And some honeysuckle. Let's see what we get on the palate. It is dry, but it has this really nice hit of ripe pear right up at the front and into the mid palate. Really nice wine. And then it finishes dry. Has some minerality, which you would expect from an old world wine. Those pear notes really come through, and with a little bit of quince as well. And the nuttiness doesn't come through on this one as much as it did the Le Col. The acid is nicely integrated in this one. The honeysuckle notes really come through on the backside of the ripe pear notes, but it still remains dry. I like the integration on this. I like the complexity. I like this one just as much as I like the Le Col, and I think I'm gonna have to go straight up A on that one as well. So here you go. B minus, B minus, A. Great scores. Great grades for wines that are, well, the $30 is pushing the envelope a little bit for a lot of us. Not an everyday white, but I think the Franc is a really nice, if you really want to get into Chenin Blanc and learn about it and get the flavor profiles of it, I think Franc is a good example of that too, but these two are fabulous. And, you know, hats off to Kendall-Jackson for diving into the world of Chenin Blanc. I don't know if we'll see a big rage on Chenin. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see people branch out. I always do like to see people branch out into new things. Add this to your palate portfolio. Please. At least try it anyway. See if you like it. Thanks for taking a little time in our day. I hope you're appreciating these episodes. I'm trying to add a little bit more education, not getting too geeky. Just a little bit. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so you can see what's coming up. You keep watching. And I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely. Cheers.